up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know, my name is Chris Moore, and in today's video we're back on the dyno. We got a 2022 CBR 1000RR. This thing has been modified with some nice modifications that should yield some pretty good results. The customer has got a 520 chain conversion done, a Sprint P08 air filter, a Leah Vinci slip-on, which sounds amazing, and he has gutted the factory header. So not crazy expensive money in mods, but I think this thing should put down some good power. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention Carbon Smith velocity stacks. So this thing should make some good power. CBRs always make really good torque and really good low range. Let's see how these velocity stacks and how this stuff that he's done helps out on top end. Stay with us, guys. Here we go. One more mod I wanted to mention that I forgot. He does have pair valve block off plates, which don't really add any more horsepower, but I just like to tell you all the modifications they have done. We're gonna do the baseline pull on this thing now, see what kind of numbers it makes, then we're gonna unrestrict the ECU. Yeah, that's right, guys. These things have a ton of restrictions in the ECU from the factory. The factory throttle, even though you've got it locked with your hand, the computer closes the throttle plates back on you on top end. Let's see how this thing does, and then we're gonna flash it, tune it, and get it dialed in to get the maximum horsepower out of this bike. Alright guys, 158.27 horsepower and 70 foot-pounds of torque is what we got as our baseline number. You can see the power curve looks nice and even, and actually the air-fuel ratio doesn't look that bad. Now when we first go wide open, you can see it goes crazy lean there. But why is our power so low? Let me show you a little something. So we go to our Woolwich ECU programming file and we go to other maps, and here we go to the electronic throttle valve, okay? And then you can see here we got it on engine braking 1 and then gear 1. All right, so let's just take a look. Of course we didn't dyno it in first gear, but I just wanted to show you a little bit about this, okay? Right here, this is our throttle percentage. So that's how much gas we're giving it with our hand. Over here is the RPMs that we're going. So all these numbers here is how much throttle the actual ECU slash the bike is giving itself. So when we go 100% throttle up here, we go all the way down to 9,000 RPMs, and we're at 78% throttle. Now remember, we gave it 100% throttle back here. 2,500 RPMs, we got 20% throttle. And then you can see it's at 5,500 RPMs, it gave itself 26% throttle. We got all the way up to 80%, and then back at 11,000 RPMs, we are at 73% throttle, and then it continues all the way that to the factory 13.5 or whatever red line. Now let's put the bike in 5th gear, which is where we dynoed it. Lo and behold, we got kind of sort of the same thing, a little bit better. At 5,000 RPMs, we were at 44% throttle. We got all the way up to 100% throttle at 10,000, but at 11,000 RPMs, we're back to 73% throttle. So literally, even though you're pinned and wide open, the bike not wide open throttle, guys. So we're gonna go in, fix all that stuff. We're also gonna go in and lower our fan temps down where they'll come on much sooner. We're gonna get rid of the stock O2 sensor, or the check engine light for the stock O2 sensor. We're gonna get rid of the check engine light for the pair valve. We're gonna get rid of the check engine light for the exhaust valve. We're also gonna get rid of the D-cell fuel cuts. So whenever you go wide open, or let's just say you're cruising, you let off the throttle, the fuel injectors from the factory cut off completely, okay? In other words, they don't give the bike any gas. With our setup, it's gonna continue to mist a little bit of fuel in there. Look, that's mist. You see it? That's gonna keep it misting fuel in there whenever you're off the throttle. That way, whenever you resume throttle, there is no transition between on, off, on, off. It's constantly gonna be on, and it's gonna be a gradual progression of back on the throttle. We're also gonna get rid of that pesky top speed eliminator so we can get more mile per hour on top end. We also go in and bump up the rev limiter, and then we correct all the lean conditions in the air fuel ratio, getting all that stuff dialed in perfectly. All in all, we make a whole lot of changes, and I'm gonna show you what that changes mean here in just a minute. Here we go, the ECU is flashed, the restrictions are removed. Hopefully we got the air fuel dialed in pretty close. Let's see how this thing does. Notice right off the bat, no more jumpy Honda idle. Yeah guys, they all do that. On idle, it's all gone. The CBR 1000 is all ready to go. This was our best performing CBR 1000 we've ever had on the dyno. All the small modifications he did on this thing really paid off in the long run. He ended up with 174.06. We actually made like 174.45 one time, but the torque was a smidge lower. Either way, this seemed to be our best run. This was our last run, and it performed super, super good. The velocity stacks seem to be a must, and they didn't really lose power in the mid-range. So I see how we got a little bit of a dip here in our power around 6,000. If I had to guess, I would say that's from the velocity stacks. But that little dip is not much at all compared to what we got up top. Those things really stand out and really shine. You can see we got our air-fuel ratio dialed in perfectly straight on this thing. And she is ready to rock and roll, guys. Hit us up, moremafia.com. If you got a CBR and you're wanting to get the ECU Flashed or get it on the dyno, we will get you fixed up. I absolutely love the color combination on this particular bike. It looks super, super good. This is a 22 model. Like I said, probably one of the best looking ones I've seen. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Click the bell for notifications. Check us out, moremafia.com. If you have any questions, you can contact us there. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to smash that like button. As always, we appreciate you watching. We'll see you next time.